On the news tonight, Osun government commences free eye treatment for pupils and students in public schools. Lagos Assembly returned to status quo as lawmakers re-elect Osbc as Speaker. Nigerians express divergent views over Akpabio-Natasha face-off. And from the foreign scene, ECOWAS mission exits Guinea-Bissau over threat by the country's president. Good evening and welcome to Major Report. I am Kayode Adebayo. Osun State Government has begun treatment for pupils and students with various eye defects under the Imole Free School Eye Treatment. The Executive Secretary of Osun Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Razak Akindele, maintained that all affected pupils and students will get their treatments free of charge. Sahid Adeboje has the details.
The Imole School Free Eye Program, which began with screening of students across public and secondary schools in Osun State, climaxed with the distribution of drugs and corrective glasses to the affected students free of charge. When Osbc news got to Akioron Center in Ikiron, hundreds of students were seen with medical experts catering for their need. Same was the situation in Ede and Osogbo, and supervised by officials of Osun Health Insurance Scheme. Speaking with newsmen during the exercise, the Executive Secretary of Osun Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Razak Akindele, lauded Governor Ademola Adeleke for considering it fit to treat pupils and students with eye problems free of charge. According to him, over 42,000 pupils and students and in public schools have been screened to have one eye defect or the other, which could hinder their educational performance. He maintained that none of the 42,000 pupils and students will be left untreated.
I thank the parents for the message their children involved. What this shows is that quite a lot of students have eye challenges and they don't know. They don't know, the parents don't know, the teachers don't know. This exercise showing that 42,000, more than 42,000 students have challenges.
One of the eye experts attending to students, Dr. Modupe Adebayo, explained that some of them suffer from long-sightedness while others suffer from glaucoma or short-sightedness. She maintained that corrective glasses have been distributed to some of them, while those who needed surgeries will undergo such free of charge.
We've given several glasses, eye drops, anti-allergy, antibiotics, analgesic, depending on the complaint and the examination of the children that we have seen so far.
Two of the beneficiaries, Akavon Deborah and Kolawole Taufik, appreciated Governor Ademola Adeleke for coming to their aid. They describe him as father with distinction. For Osbc News, this is Sahid Adeboje reporting.
Osun State Electricity Market Regulatory Bill 2024, which aims to transform the energy sector, has passed second reading at the State House of Assembly. Addressing the plenary, Speaker of the Assembly, Honorable Adewale Egbedun, highlighted the benefits of the bill, saying if it is passed into law, it will promote efficiency and enhance sustainability in the sector. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosin Oladokun has more.
Reconvene to tackle key issues with the need to unbundle electricity market forces taking the center stage. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Adewale Egbedun, presided over the session, enables members to engage in a robust debate and deliberation on the Osun State Electricity Market Regulatory Bill 2024. Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Babajide Koforola, led the policy thrust where he highlighted the bill's potential benefits, including regulating relationships between power producers and distributors to address epilepsy power supply. Other lawmakers who spoke to the bill, among whom were Honorables Lawrence Adeoti, Wale Akerele, Kami Ajibola, Tajudeen Adeyemi, Laide Ajibola, and Adeyemi Adeumi, urged the House to accelerate the bill's passage, citing its potential to transform Osun State's energy space and enhance internal revenue generation. Bill successfully passed its second reading, while the Osun State Islamic and Traditional Marriages Registration Bill 2024 and the Osun State Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshot Bill 2024 passed their first reading. Additionally, the Speaker of the State Parliament, Right Honorable Adewale Egwedun, introduced 2 new bills. These were the Osun State Emergency Management Agency Amendment Number 1, 2025, and the Osun State Road Traffic and Vehicle Inspection Service B 2025, authored by Honorables Adeyemi Adeumi and Wahid Ibrahim. In the course of the plenary, Speaker announced before the House a new standing committee on Governor's office to be chaired by Honorable Adeyemi Adeumi.
Honorable Adewumi Adeyemi, Chairman. Honorable Babajide Oluola Adewumi, Deputy Chairman. Honorable Lawrence Olalekan Adeoti, Member. Honorable Folorunsho Yemi Udadi, Member. Honorable Olawale Oladipupo Adeleke, Member. Those are members of the House Committee on Governance Office.
During the plenary, the House took a moment to congratulate Clerk of the House, Mr. Akinwale Amosa, on his birthday, acknowledging his commitment and contribution to the legislative process. Uluwatosin Oladokun, Osbc News.
History was made and rewritten today as the first female Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Miranda, resigned after a brief 49-day tenure. The development paved the way for renomination and re-election of Honorable Mudashiru Obasa as the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. In a speech before adjourning the plenary synod, Speaker Obasa thanked Miranda, who he said has been supportive and loyal, adding that the day is a day to celebrate his colleagues and thank them for all they've been doing, just as he appreciated the elders and other party leaders for their support. Meanwhile, Miranda's departure, along with that of the Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip, and Deputy Chief Whip, plunged the Assembly into a moment of emotional upheaval, leaving lawmakers and staff visibly distraught. The sudden resignations, which included Fatai Majid, David Setonji, and Sonny Okanlawo, Deputy Chief Whip, occurred during a plenary session that quickly became a scene of both admiration and sorrow. Lawmakers showered Miranda with accolades, praising her as hero of democracy, as she was repeatedly hailed as a role model for women and girls. The emotional atmosphere was palpable, particularly as Desmond Elliott, a fellow lawmaker, rose to speak, only to be overcome by tears and unable to utter a word as another lawmaker, Abiodun Tobun, congratulated the former speaker, eulogizing her exemplary character. Miranda's brief tenure began on January 13 this year, following the impeachment of former Speaker Mudashiru Obasa based on allegations of financial misconduct, abuse of office, and authoritarian leadership. Nigerians have expressed divergent views over the call for resignation of the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, following the allegation of sexual harassment leveled against him by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. While some of those who spoke in separate interviews with Osbc News supported the call for the Senate President's resignation to allow for a thorough investigation of the matter, others feel that the issue has been unduly publicized, adding that the role of the Senate should be maintained. They speak in terms.
It's sad, the society that we live in, because I am of the opinion that sexual harassment affects the female gender more than it affects the male gender. Not that it doesn't affect the male gender at all, general in society. And we're seeing that play out, in the National Assembly concerning the issue of Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio. I do think that this issue should be thoroughly investigated. And, it's a sad time, and this is coinciding with Women's Day coming up, I think March 8th. We also have the issue of the Lagos State Assembly also playing out, and the issue of the speaker and all of that. And I think that women are intimidated in most quarters, and we need to ramp up support for women.
If we want to do justice to that matter, the investigation should be an open and thorough investigation. And if Mr. Senate President want to be a forthright person, he should step aside. Allow an investigation that will be a thorough one to come up.
The matter is more politics than the issue of allegation or not. Now, there is no precedent in Nigeria where such a matter comes up and you ask the presiding officer or the accused to step aside. The truth of the matter is that, on a personal note, I feel Senate has its own rules, and we should allow the Senate rules to prevail. We should not allow, especially external politicians, to dabble into it. I also had Staraki making that suggestion that he should step aside and everything. If he steps aside, who takes over? But the truth of the matter is that Senate has its own rules, and they should allow the rules of the Senate to prevail.
French ambassador to Nigeria, Marc Forestier, has said France is committed to supporting Nigeria's roadmap for mining development for economic growth in West Africa. Forestier gave the commitment during a courtesy call on Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, in Abuja, reaffirming France's commitment to remain Nigeria's formidable ally in developing the solid minerals sector. A statement by the Minister's Senior Special Assistant on Media, Segun Tomori, quoted Forestier as expressing France's keen interest in investing in the rapidly developing solid mineral sector of Nigeria. He expressed optimism that the long-standing and robust bilateral relationship between Nigeria and France will be further enhanced through key initiatives in the solid mineral sector backed by actionable goals with clear timelines. Meanwhile, Nigeria and France signed an MOU late last year on the heels of President Tinubu's state visit to France to develop joint projects for promotion and diversification of the critical minerals value chain, with emphasis on technical assistance, capacity building, and remediation of abandoned pits. The Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madeyin, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi-San, have commenced talks on the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy as direct allocation disbursement to the 774 local government areas continues to suffer delay. In a move to enforce the verdict, the two senior officials have been holding consultations on the modalities for submitting local government bank accounts for direct payment of council allocation, but are reportedly facing challenges identifying local government areas with democratically elected officials. This was contained in the Federation Account Allocation Committee Technical Subcommittee meeting minutes obtained by the newsmen. The minutes shared by an insider indicate that only the local government areas in Delta State have submitted their account details to the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The documents show that while the OAGF had started receiving account details from various sources, only Delta local governments had fully submitted their details, with some local government areas reportedly provided account details directly, while others did so through their state governments. The meeting chaired by the Accountant General highlighted that the process had encountered challenges, particularly in identifying local governments with properly elected leadership. The Nigerian Labour Congress has said it will not allow the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to further increase electricity tariff by migrating other electricity consumers to Band A. The NLC said it took the decision as its National Executive Council meeting in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, where it also inaugurated some mass transit buses that use the compressed natural gas for the Northeast. In a communique issued at the end of the NEC meeting by NLC President Joe Ajaero and General Secretary Emmanuel Ugboaja, threatened to mobilize its members for a nationwide protest should the regulatory agency implement any fresh tariff increase in the power sector. It also warned telecommunication companies not to go back on the 35% increase in telecommunication services agreement reached on 21st of last month between it and the federal government through the joint 10-man committee. The NLC, however, urged all its affiliates, industrial unions, and progressive allies to remain on high alert and fully prepared to participate in a decisive mass action against what he called anti-people policies of the state. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has acknowledged the instrumentality of prayer in the achievement of his administration, as he called for continuous supplication and support of people in the state, especially during this period of Ramadan. The governor stated this at the Ramadan Iftar session held at the banquet hall of the Osun State Government House in Osogbo, the state capital. Governor Adeleke further appreciated God over his life, his cabinet members, and that of the people of Osun State, while commending the people of the state and the religious leader for their prayers and support at all times. The governor, who prayed for continued peace, prosperity, and stability of the state, added that the breaking of fast session served as a demonstration of the unity between faith and governance in the state. Also, in his words, Sheikh Musa Animashaun, who doubles as the chairman of the League of Imams and Alphas alongside the Mufashir of Osogbo, Sheikh Abdulateef Abajaoro, emphasized the importance of seeking divine guidance for leaders in Ramadan period and challenging times. Their heartfelt supplications alongside other clerics reflected a collective aspiration for continued peace, prosperity, and development in the state. Prayers were offered to Allah for the progress of the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke and his cabinet members, the people of the state, Osun, and the nation at large. Armstrong Paint Ambassador Adebayo Adeleke and the CEO of the company, Engineer Adisa Uthman, have put smile on the faces of the children of Form 1 orphanage homes in Osogbo and Ede. The duo, who visited the two orphanage homes, showered gift items on the children in line with the tenet of Islam and the spirit of Ramadan. Here is the report as presented from our studios.
Armstrong Paint's brand ambassador, who is the son of the Osun State Governor Adebayo Adeleke, popularly known as D-Red, and the CEO of the paint company, Engineer Adisa Uthman, paid a special visit to children of Form 1 orphanage home in Osogbo and Ede, all in Osun State, where they donated food items and cash gifts to the children. The visit was aimed at putting smiles on the faces of the orphans as Ramadan commences. Armstrong brand ambassador D-Red and the CEO, Engineer Uthman, urged the children to be at their best behavior at all times, stressing that they were optimistic that they will soon grow up to become very important people in the society in future. They took turns to encourage the children to be obedient to their caregivers and as well have the fear of God in them in order to become useful citizens of the state in particular and Nigeria as a whole. Reflecting on the initiative, the CEO Armstrong Company, Engineer Adisa Uthman, said Ramadan is about kindness, noting that orphans deserve love and support, and they were out to make them feel valued and have a sense of belonging in the scheme of things, while saying that Armstrong will provide food, clothing, school materials, and fresh coat of paints to brighten homes as the paint symbolizes.
Ramadan time, it is fasting time. It is the month of Al-Barakah, as we say in Islam. So we just decided to come here to come and give out to our children because they are loved ones, they have to be inspired, they have to be well taken care of 100%, just like they said. So that's why we are here.
B-Red noted that giving back is personal to him. Partnering with the best paint, Armstrong Paint, makes it even more meaningful and promised to do more. Acknowledging the effort of the management of the orphanage homes in molding and shaping the lives of the children and the good work in ensuring that the children were given the best of life, they pledge to continue the kind gesture.
We love to give back to people. Understand? Not only everywhere we go, we love to give back. So we just decided to come here today, give them some little cash prize and some goodies for them, just to show our appreciation. And we do say we keep on coming back to show our appreciation.
Earlier, the state Amira of Form 1, Alhaja Sadiat Oladapo, appreciated the governor's son, B-Red, who is the Armstrong ambassador, and the CEO, Engineer Adisa Uthman, for the visits and the benevolence and magnanimity towards children orphanage homes. At Ede, Admira Ede North local government area of Osun State of Form 1 applauded Armstrong Company for visiting the children, as it will go a long way in molding them positively. Armstrong brand ambassador B-Red and the CEO Armstrong Company, Alhaji Uthman, donated gift items including cash, bags of rice, noodles, tissue papers, cartons of biscuits, seasoning, milk, among other items.
You are welcome to our sports segment. Paris 2024 Olympics semi-finalist Isike Nathaniel has shattered Africa's 400-meter indoor record again, lowering it to 44.74 seconds at the 2025 Big 12 Indoor Track and Field Championship in Lubbock, Texas. The feat comes 2 weeks after the 21-year-old produced a stunning 44.92 seconds for his first African record in the 400-meter indoor, when he became the first man from the continent to break the 45-second barrier at the Jarvis Scott Invite, also in Lubbock, competing in a timed final alongside Arizona State's Jaden Davis, who had pushed him in the qualification round. Nathaniel attacked the race with intent, seizing the lead at the break with a swift 21.09 seconds opening lap. Nathaniel maintained his poise through the finish, showing no signs of fatigue as he broke his previous record of 44.92 seconds set just 2 weeks ago to claim gold, while Davis finished second with a 44.95 seconds. Aside from setting a new African record, Nathaniel also became the 8th fastest man in the world over the distance, number 6 in NCAA history, and also set a meet record. He is expected to appear in the Nigerian colors at the World Indoor Championships, which will be held from this month in Nanjing, China. And now from the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States has detailed its discourse with Guinea-Bissau over the conduct of the upcoming elections. The West African Regional Bloc ECO has disclosed that its delegation in Guinea-Bissau left the country after President Umaru Embalo issued a warning to expel the mission. It will be recalled that the regional bloc, alongside the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, sent the mission a few weeks back to reach political consensus on how to conduct the election. The mission had extensive conversations with an array of stakeholders during their visit, including foreign partners, civil society organizations, election management organizations, political leaders, and government representatives. President Embalo had last November rescheduled the country's presidential elections, which were set to be held later that month, but a new date for the election is yet to be determined, which did not bid well for the opposition, as they called the move unconstitutional. And with that story from the foreign scene, we end the major report on Osbc TV tonight. The bulletin was edited by Michael Adeniyi. I am Kayode Adebayo. Thanks for watching and good night.